Well, I got a call from Nathan Crooker, and he told me about this anthology he was putting together, and I thought it was a great idea to make a film. I'm up here in the country with my family, and it's what we do, so I was very happy to rise to the challenge.
I'm Jack Fessenden, the son of Larry. I was the director of photography, so really my dad shot-listed the whole thing on his own, but once we were ready to shoot, he kind of turned over all the camera responsibilities to me and gave me a lot of freedom about, if I wanted to try something. I'm not wearing my gloves. This is very inappropriate. We only had a couple of lights, and we were just kind of doing things gesturally. The entire bedroom scene, if you watch the movie, is lit through one window for all different times of day with different color temperatures.
Is that more on your face? Good?
I'll say anything's good to give.
So it was fun to just kind of have a bit more freedom within the constraints to just be creative and not try to sell any kind of reality, which is not usually an issue with my dad.
Oh, that's not what I meant.
What do you want?
Light stands.
That's not. Our system is good. It's uneven. Did you even level it?
We were shooting large format on the Sony A7S. So I have these great old photography lenses that I got on eBay for very cheap. They're just these very compact Soviet built from like the 60s through the 80s. And they give this kind of painterly fall off.
And the good thing is that we're going to do a crane shot, so we're going to use this one more time. Our old crane, which is an ancient jib arm I got in a fire sale back in the city in the early 90s. And it's just this fantastic piece of equipment we've used for years on all of my son's films and even some of our real movies, so to speak. Such a little cutie, this thing.
None of the pieces fit together anymore, so we were just clamping it, and I was basically operating it from the camera because we didn't have anyone really to hold the back. And I would look over as I was trying to frame the shot, and the tripod would be over on one leg, and I would just be trying to hold the whole thing together without it having, too much wobble. But there's some cool shots in the bedroom that we used that for. Yeah.
There, could we show some appreciation for the old workhorse?
Yeah, except look at the point of contact.
Jesus Christ. All right, well then stop first. We'll do the move.
Daddy, I think the light looked better when it was streaking across the bed more.
Okay.
I'm gonna shift it. I'm gonna split the difference on it because it also takes away from the right window.
I'd like to try one.
And right.
Whoop. Okay. Was that the best shot ever?
Well, I liked just getting a lens up for the first time because I've been in quarantine here. I'm finishing a movie that I shot last summer. So, I've lived with that footage for so long, haven't created anything new. I didn't shoot it, I was the director, but I was eager to get, behind a camera. You can always go out and shoot things. We've got the equipment, but it's different when you've got a story that you're telling and you're working for a director.
Even this is just going to do. So, Jack.
Are you just holding this and let go?
Well, yeah, but then you just came.
Stop bitching at each other now.
It's actually pretty natural working with the family. Kind of things click into gear pretty quick, and there's just sort of medium level quarreling the whole time, but it's mostly for the cause. And I think we're used to working with one another, so there's a mutual understanding that we're all artists, so we all know what's at stake and what's not, and that we never really mean it when we're mad. And my mom, it's funny, there's the looks between me and my mom about my dad acting some way, and there's the looks between my dad and I about how my mom's behaving, and I wonder if there's looks between them about me. No doubt.
Good enough?
Yeah.
You know, Mommy told me
Now,
that.
we didn't change the lens. Did you want to do like looking this way with the when you sat up? Was pretty awesome.
Let's do it. Last thing we do. A friend of mine had written me and said, you must get this drug. It's going to save you when you get the COVID. And I sent the email to my wife and I said, well, what do you think? And she said, well, you could get some doses, you know. And so this was before Trump was even talking about it. It shows that my friend had gotten wind of this from some doctor that she knew. So I bought a subscription. Is that what I mean? A prescription. So I have this drug. It was a perfect prop, and it really speaks to the times. I wanted to have all these iconic things, the washing of the hands, that particular drug, and whatever else that we're all suffering through together.
You can go up.
And then coming down.
Mm-hmm.
This might be good. I'm always worried about the exposure, but it's perfect.
I think it's going to be perfect. We got clouds, and I want the bodies to be very white.
So poke your little head into this.
Because I often celebrate Kurosawa, one of my favorite directors, and his understanding of the power of nature as a collaborator. And, you know, he's always able to find the windiest parts of Japan to stage his samurai fights and mist scenes that are actually real mist, and all these things we've always celebrated in our family. And it was fantastic. It started to snow in May, and we knew we had a whole sequence up there that was supposed to have a chaotic energy. And what better thing? We stopped what we were doing. We went up the hill and filmed around the pond in a snowstorm. A while ago, I said to my friend Chris Gotchtapol, can you go out and just start shooting for me? I'd like to have a record of the empty streets. And as soon as I heard about this project, I wanted to incorporate that.
On the 5D, Chris shot just standard Canon glass in the city, I'm pretty sure. So it looks sharper.
Everything is kind of like...
Great.
Do you like that?
I think so.
Okay, so...
We'll be able to watch that, right?
In real time?
Play back.
Yeah, of course. So... Okay.
So we have a barn that I've fitted a corner of our barn here to serve as a recording studio, and my high school band and I recorded many albums there. So it's kind of my space out there where I play music, and every once in a while my dad has a project that he brings me, and I play everything because he doesn't really know how to play that many things except for the saxophone, and of course he sings. But I play the drums, we do the bass, the guitar, and then he tracks vocals, but we ended up with a pretty good little poppy tune.
Please let us stop.
Okay, and next lens. Oh, please, God, I'm begging you. God, I only asked for one thing, and that's to finish this shot. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do the next one.
I mean, I woke up late, as I usually do that first morning of shooting, but I came downstairs for breakfast and it felt like I had that film set mindset, that adrenaline was already starting to kick in. The house like looked different around me because I knew we had a day ahead of us. And it made those 3 days very memorable. I mean, they stand out as the most different from the rest of quarantine in the last couple months for sure.
My understanding that we were going to do sort of a check, because I'm shooting this blindly, unless you just trust whatever you're looking at, and you don't need to be super precise.
Well, we do need to be precise. It's one of the great shots of the film. So why don't you get up without speeding the blood too much. Let's look at it, and we'll go from there.